get him. I don't know where, but I think they got him in Cookies. Where the Collierville or somewhere like that.
Yeah, his daughter lives in Colorado.
So, it's a shame they couldn't. Yeah, I'd like to call and send him a card or something you can just get a hold of him.
I've texted, I've tried calling his cell phone. Yeah, y'all sent them out early and I got mine phone before I left work.
You must be able to email me.
Yeah, y'all sent them out early and I got mine phone before I left work.
Testing the stream. I'm swear I'm not recording you. What you know good, Mr. Oh, they pulled me back.
Did they?
I had to bring me back one more time, supposedly.
Had to need it, did they?
Something like that. Now, I don't know about needing me, but he pulled me
My
back.
computer didn't, it's not working now. I can't get it up.
Bring it up to me.
It's, I type in what it says right there on Ripley, blah, blah, 20, blah. And it just doesn't get up.
It just doesn't work. Yeah, bring it to me. We
Where
will,
are you at?
Repair and Light. But don't bring it up there. Call me one day. Just on my phone. You got my cell phone number anyway. Call me, and then I will definitely be able to help you.
I'll catch you off.
Hey, Mr. Tommy.
It's all right. I got you covered.
All right. Can you hear me pretty good? Just testing everything.
Okay.
Turn you up over here.
Is the mayor?
Yes. He's here. I think he's going to come up here today. His wife's all better. So we should be able to run it from up here.
But they absolutely love the fact that next time they have to renew, they'll go through the drive-through.
All right, Miss Tommy, I'm going to turn this right back around. That way you don't have to look at me.
That's all right. I don't mind watching you.
How we doing? And then it's like people are really enjoying it too. It's drive through.
How are you? Good.
All right.
I guess he ended up going to the hospital for having another stroke out the front. He texted me Saturday and said, I had a stroke right now. I'm like,
Looked at mine today.
who's
But I didn't drink
taking
it
care
all.
of that? Do you need someone to come take care of you? And he's like, no, I thought she was
Good to
working
have
on
a special
it.
secretary.
And I didn't know nothing else until
I know, I got one at home too.
about him having to mourn, having to go to the hospital.
He should have.
He snapped his finger and I said, what you need?
Do think about it.
I think he has so much other stuff on his mind.
He snapped his finger and I said, what you need?
You got to take care of yourself first before you can take care of
He
everyone
snapped
else.
his finger and I said, what you need?
If I do anything, I'll yell at you.
Thank you, I appreciate that. I know
Linda,
Beverly had tried to contact his son, Brian, on Friday, but it never heard anything, so I know that, so. Maybe we need to contact Lee if he's on phone.
Yeah, I don't even know who's where, to be honest. I didn't know his kids.
I didn't know his kids, but, Beverly found his son from his profile picture, because he looks just like him, but with such hair. I mean, just like him. But I think he lives in like Virginia or West Virginia. So. But I do know his daughter lives there in Collierville. Hope he gets better. Well, I'll talk to y'all later. Thank you, ladies.
Are you Mr. Linwood?
How you doing?
Fine.
How you doing? Yeah. Linda, you get to work too early in the morning.
I do.
You do.
That's my usual time.
I saw your car there, was it this morning? Early.
That's what time I go to work every day.
You earning that check.
Somebody got to earn it. Cynthia's right behind me. She's usually with me. It was this up until just maybe this week. It's taken both of us to get the door open.
Oh, really? It's one of those doors, huh?
I think that's been the hardest door, but we've got it under control now.
Oh, okay. Good.
There's Joe Purcell.
How y'all doing?
We're here.
You got over the virus? I am over. I have been cleared.
You get bad symptoms?
Oh. I had 101.7 degree temperature. Thursday I come down with it. Saturday night fever broke and I ain't been sick since. Only thing the doctor told me to take was Tylenol.
Did you go be tested when was you tested?
I was tested that Thursday.
Was you? When you got your fever?
When I popped.
Yeah.
Hmm.
How many y'all got out in the church?
40 something last count I had.
Oh goodness.
Got 5 or 6 in the hospital.
That's what
Elton Jones.
somebody told me Elton was in
He's
hospital.
not doing good.
That's what I heard. Oh, I hate that.
Bonnie Sanders just got out today.
Is she okay? She was having problems.
Yeah, she was having problems anyway. Cynthia Cowell's in the hospital. She got double pneumonia and blood clots. Debbie Coughlin's in the hospital.
She was in bad shape.
She got all kinds of underlying
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, you look like you've lost weight.
I have.
I've heard that that's what it is.
I lost this weight not because of COVID. I ain't lost a pound of COVID.
Really?
Really. I lost this because I quit working up there eating every day.
Yeah, there you go.
That's true. I started losing weight the day I retired.
You're not working at all now?
I work 2 days a week.
Hey, Andy,
I'm down
that girl
losing
not
5 pounds when I was when I got married.
We had 2 for you.
They said, they swear by me and you would come.
That's what they say.
So,
How do you want to do? How you doing? You're doing good.
how's everybody?
Here, man. How are you? It wouldn't have to be a copy of the agenda, would
You're
it?
right.
Yeah, we got one over here.
Okay. Who's this mad stranger?
How you been? Hey, Miss Kay, can you hear me? Alright, so here's what's gonna happen. You're muted right now. I'm gonna leave you muted until about the meeting's gonna start, okay?
Dying to eat myself or
You're good. You're good. Al. You're muted. Oh yeah, you will unmute yourself on the bottom left.
my videos. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, you're all set up, ready to go. Now I'm about to check our stream and make sure it's all good, and I'll start recording.
Well, and when, before we start, the folks on Zoom, tell them to be sure when we get ready for a vote, we'll call for a vote. Don't just say yes to say their name, then yes.
Unmute, tell them.
Okay.
That way, we'll be good.
Yeah. Sir. Doing fine. Well, what do you That's good.
That'll be all right. We'll be there.
You did?
Really?
His oxygen is up down below 80. Let's see, we got. Very much so. We heard from Gary.
We've got, we'll have Zoom available too. I know we'll have 4 or 5 there. Hopefully we get.
I had a hard copy of the agenda.
You have another copy?
Hi, Don, how are you? That's Shane. Shane, you're okay?
They hold them off.
Yeah, just go ahead, take a second. Why is that?
You have COVID?
Between that and the folks on Zoom. Kay Jordan is on Zoom. Mr. Sanders is on Zoom.
Well,
Tommy, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I was just on mute. You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
that is land that sheriff's department needs to transport through this. Overdue.
Howdy, y'all.
Hey, man.
How you doing?
Fine. You all right?
I'm all right. Where am I supposed to sit? This is my regular chair. This look.
Good evening.
I don't know where it comes from. Two seats apart.
Move it over. Gene, you can sit there. That's fine.
Whatever they say, whatever.
Grant.
I ain't got nobody.
Yep.
Hey, Miss Tom.
I can hear you.
Good to see you, neighbor. Good to see you, neighbor.
I get my balls.
We still got a few minutes to go.
So far. How are you?
Hey, man.
Thank you, man.
Don't say that.
Okay.
Staying busy.
Need to come back and fix it again. Fix it where it don't last 2 weeks, but lasts.
We tried that. So, do you remember your password?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's all working for you?
Basketball one.
Yes.
But I put it's in there, and it's in there permanently.
Right. That's right, because we set
But it
that
won't
up.
come back up now.
Why?
My email's there, and it
But it still won't log in. Is it still on your phone?
tells me to get another password. But you get a chance sometime.
I'll let you know. Is it still on your phone? Can you access it on your phone?
No, I don't get emails.
Good, how are you? Let me see it real quick if
I
you
don't
don't
get
mind.
regular emails on it.
All right, let's see.
Well, we started picking cotton Saturday. We picked it about 1:30 Saturday night. It rains out. I got I've had corn out for a month. We just can't have a standstill, man. Man, look, it wouldn't hurt my feelings if it rained Christmas.
Alright, so you have access to some of your but one day, on that little laptop, we'll definitely do it. But one day we'll see. You're on. Sometimes we're the devil. Technology is something different. Yeah. Which I don't know why it does that. No, I've never seen it. It's an AT&T thing. So I don't know why they even want you to sign it's a mess. We'll do it.
Well, he said it would be a little thing because of that. I think I would like to have one of those things but I want to do some code. I'm gonna get with him on that. He's got to show me.
How we looking? All right, you gonna tell them about their name and stuff like that? You wanna go ahead and do that?
Cornbread was all right.
Okay, wait till it's over.
Cotton is better than I thought it was gonna be. It don't look like much. It's about that tall.
We got any more applying? I think Lawrence Andrews was kind of.
Just us four right now. Me, you, Kay, and Mr. Tommy.
But like I said, it's about that tall. But I don't think he would go another motor.
That's enough. So far we have Kay Jordan and Tommy Sanders.
Let's say we started about 11 o'clock Saturday and we quit about 1:30.
I'm sure Xavier will hop in halfway through it too, though. He usually does that.
That's the best I ever done.
One more? What have you done? That's it.
Two. I got one in row.
That's rough.
Oh man, look at things. It's like you can't be out. That's what I told my son. I said, son, you can't appreciate it unless you run with them up. When you come with a trailer, you don't do it any cheaper. If anything, it's a little bit more expensive, but you ain't gonna keep up there.
Deborah ties. I got Deborah ties too.
Well, it's right.
That got advertised.
Well, I mean, we worked 4 nights all night long last year, 4 nights. Me and my daddy and my brother. And I mean, we started at 10:30, 11 o'clock, we worked plumb through until it rained. And sometimes it rained at 6 o'clock in the morning, other times it rained at 12. But there's 3 folks in the field when we got done. Got to the feet. Bales were stacking and stopping them up.
Then I found a couple of good souvenirs. That was last year. Couple old times.
Oh, man. Well, that's exactly what they are. They say they're I mean,
They're real hungry.
it's hard to believe you can't find one still and you can't.
One of them has the old, one of them both of them 700.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that, I hadn't looked at that close, the one I had a hole in it, I think.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you doing, Sandy? No, just for tonight, just helping out, yes ma'am.
Lord, mercy.
Well, I wanna look at one of them now.
Well, we had a two-row picture when I was a kid. And my daddy made me pick, I don't know, it might have been 24, 30 rows. About far here, that far, on each side of the wall.
I do not believe Maurice does. Agenda, she wants an agenda. Agenda? She wants one.
You pick that. It wasn't. But the more fingers were sore and that hole poked in, picking up more than that.
I'm not picking it that many bales that quick. There used to be 8 of us picking 5, 7. Let's see, 5 of us kids, mother and dad, 7. Grandmother used to have 8. I had a couple.
Another minute.
Sorry.
Our goal was to try to get a bale a day. One bale a day. We had done pretty good.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to believe. I tried to explain to my son, you can't appreciate something like this unless you run them over. And goes, I can't appreciate them over till I had to do something like what you said. And like I said, all I did was that little old bit. But
I remember standing up in Cotton Field, the first 4-row rig I saw on tractor. 4 rows. I remember standing in the field, our neighbor had one, we stood out in the field watching that thing.
Hey, Gene, when I tell my grandkids, I say, you're not gonna believe this, but we used to have a tractor that didn't have cab air on it.
I'll still get to them. That old Willis Jeep truck I got.
Yeah.
I drove it down to Memphis, showed it to my son-in-law and my grandkids, and my youngest grandson, I guess, let's see, he was about, 14. He looked at that window crack.
Huh.
What's that?
Yeah.
He never seen a manual crank.
well, I got one old tractor that don't, but we don't do much with it. We run a hog
Hey, Terry,
with it now.
you wanna lead us in prayer?
No, I guess, well, it's a 68 model, and then I got a 78 model.
You're on.
Okay,
Okay, can everybody hear me okay?
The 78.
They're nodding, yeah.
Okay.
All
All right, so just a point of orders, we go through when we do a roll call vote. If you would, state your name first and then your vote. And I'll have
Miss Linda take that.
Miss Linda
We're gonna start
take
here
that. So
in
we're
just
going
a
to start
second.
here in just a second.
Yours down a little bit, down a little bit.
Say my name. Yes. 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 Yes.
We're good. If everyone's standing, I'll let Mr. Mills lead us in prayer and then remain standing for the pledge.
Dear Heavenly Father, Lord Jesus, thank you for allowing
allowing us to be here in this area, Lord, right now, during this time, Lord, of these diseases and these viruses, Lord, and all that's going on in our county, Lord. But allow us to do your business and our business, Lord, in this commission meeting tonight. And all things are powerful and through you, Lord Jesus, and all things we say. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, for our members, I will turn the camera toward Miss Linda, and she will call roll. And when she does, for you that are on Zoom, please state your name and state who you're present.
Mr. Lawrence Andrews. Mr. Mark Bentley.
Present.
Mr. Barry Brett. Mr. Joe Carmack. Mr. Jason Pressman. Mr. Don Cannell.
Here.
Mr. Tommy Donovan.
Here.
Mr. Gene Edwards.
Here.
Mr. Jesse Edwards. Ms. Sandra Hughes. Mr. James Jones. Ms. Kay Jordan.
Kay Jordan here.
Mr. Dennis King.
Here.
Mr. J. King. Mr. Dale McCaslin.
Here.
Mr. Terry Mills.
Here.
Mr. Eugene Pugh. Mr. Joe Purcell.
Here.
Mr. Todd Rankin. Mr. Tommy Sanders.
Tommy Sanders here. You get it?
Got you, Mr.
Tommy
Sanders.
Sanders.
Mr. Linwood Shumate.
Here.
Mr. Lowell Tillman. Ms. Deborah Tice.
She just joined in. Call her name one more time.
Miss Tice, are you here?
Yes, Deborah time here.
Mr. Dan Onich.
Here.
All right, for the purpose of this meeting, this summer, would you read out all that are present?
Okay, we have Mark Bentley. We have Don Cannell. Tommy Donovan. Gene Edwards. Sandra Hughes. Kay Jordan. Dennis King. Dale McCaslin. Terry Mills. Joe Purcell. Tommy Sanders. Linwood Shumate. Deborah Tice. And Dan Unrich.
Next item on the agenda, everyone received a copy of the minutes of the September meeting. Do I have a motion to approve? Motion made by Mr. Purcell, seconded by Mr. Shumate. Any discussion? Any objections? Any changes or corrections? Having heard none, minutes are approved as presented. The next item on the agenda is to apply and expend the Tennessee CARES Act funds. That money is $387,375. This is from the state of Tennessee. Part of it comes from the federal CARES Act money. That money has to be spent by the end of December. A portion of it we have already had to account for, which went to sheriff's deputy salaries, because we were required by October 9th to have at least $119,100 expensed out of that. As we go forward, we will expend those on worst case scenario, we'll have to spend it on payroll. We have two options that we're trying to expend some funds on now. One of those is the UV lighting at the Justice Center, ionization at the Justice Center on the HVAC units, and UV lighting at the Highway Department. And that leaves approximately another $187,000 that we'll be expending as we get approval from the state to be able to expend those dollars. And these are total grant dollars. Do I have a motion to approve? Motion made by Ms. Hughes, second by Mr. Shoemaker. Do I have any discussion or any questions? Having heard none, I will entertain a roll call vote. I'll have to do that here because I've got to send this to the state.
Mr. Mark Bentley,
Yes.
Mr. Don Canale,
Yes.
Mr. Tommy Dunlap,
Yes.
Mr. Gene Edwards,
Yeah.
Mr. Sandra Hughes,
Yes.
Ms. Kay Jordan,
Yes.
Mr.
Yes.
Dennis King,
Yes.
Mr. Dale McCaslin,
Yes.
Mr. Terry Mills,
Yes.
Mr. Joe Purcell,
Yes.
Mr. Tommy Sanders,
Yes.
Mr. Linwood Shoemaker,
Yes.
Ms. Deborah Tice,
Yes.
Mr. Dan Oden.
Yes. Deborah Tynes, yes.
Yes.
Motion carries. Next item we have on the agenda is school business. We have a few amendments, and I think we have Mr. Kimball here to update us.
Not as good looking as Mr. Gillen, but I'm here to serve his purpose tonight. We have a few budget amendments here, as the mayor mentioned, for your consideration. The first budget amendment, GP 19, is a reimbursement from the state for a portion of the student management system, $5,738. GP 20 is the amendment for the award of the Transition School to Work grant. This is a grant that we've had, I think this is the fourth year, I believe, that is specifically tailored to students with disabilities and providing them with work experience and life skills to prepare them for what's after school. GP 21 establishes an account from existing funds to pay for background checks for employees beginning in 2000 with the 2018 law that passed that requires every employee of the school district to have a current background check or a background check within 5 years on file. So we have to begin a process over the next 3 years of running background checks on all of our existing employees. So we needed to set aside these funds to establish that account and begin paying for background checks to be in compliance with the law. GP 22 is an amendment to record the funds for one of our grant programs called LEAP. This is the programs for that's funded with the state lottery money for before and after school, and this is for Halls Elementary, Ripley Primary, and Ripley Middle School. And the funds were cut significantly this year by the state. And the final amendment, GP 23, is a transfer amendment within special education budget to provide the special education department's portion of the laptop purchase that you all approved the amendment for general purpose dollars. So this is just to record the amount of funds for the special education department to contribute their amount. And that's all of the amendments for your consideration, and I'll entertain any questions you may have.
Do I have a motion to approve the school board budget amendments? Made by Mr. Ungrit, who had the second. Second by Mr. Bentley. Now, we have any questions? Having heard none, I'll entertain a roll call vote on the school budget amendments.
Mr. Mark Bentley,
Yes.
Mr. Don Canale,
Yes.
Mr. Tommy Dunlap,
Yes.
Mr. Gene Edwards,
Yes.
Ms. Sandra Hughes, Ms. Kay Jordan, Ms. Kay,
Yes. Yes.
okay. Mr. Dennis King,
Yes.
Mr. Dale McCaslin,
Yes.
Mr. Terry Mills,
Yes.
Mr. Joe Purcell,
Yes.
Mr. Tommy Sanders,
Yes.
Mr. Tommy?
Yes.
Mr. Lee?
Yes, 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 yes.
Mr. Lee, would you make?
Yes.
Ms. Deborah Thomas?
Deborah Tynes, yes.
Mr. Dan Owens?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Kimball. Next item you have, under County General Fund, as opposed to, unless I hear some objections, from the commissioners, we'll vote on them all at one time for expedience and ease of going through this, but you have a total of, 4 on there. I'll kind of briefly go over. The first one is fire prevention and control vehicles. That is 2 used fire trucks from Madison County. We started looking at these back 6 months ago with Mr. Jimbo Jarrett. It's 2 water tankers. You know, we're down 1 in the volunteers, and this will allow us to swap out one of the other ones. These have 2 automatic. Mr. Smith and Mr. Hartsfield went over and viewed those, 3 weeks ago possibly. It looked like those trucks had, Mr. Smith, you want to stand up? Mr. Smith is the interim taking Mr. Jarrett's place until we can determine that course. But it looked like the fire trucks had immaculate service records, and you want to speak to what kind of shape you think they're in? Any kind of major mechanical issues in the service books that I got, just minor stuff, and get the actual service off. Okay, thank you. All right, and the next vehicle, sheriff motor, sheriff's department motor vehicles, an inmate transport van. Everybody's got a copy of the van. The van looked like we got a good price on the van. $20-something thousand for the cage insert that you're required to put in. It seemed quite expensive, but you're looking at $49,000. I'll let Mr. Purcell, I think he could probably attest to the condition of the van that we have now that's basically inoperable.
Last one I looked at, I wouldn't take it outside the sheriff's parking lot if it's bad shape. Let's have, send deputies across the state of Tennessee to pick up, prisoners after about getting back safely.
This is a 2020, Ford F-350, cargo van. It will be, if we so choose, it'll be fitted out with the, prisoner insert and be decaled out as it should be. Do we have any?
Bids on that, I don't know, the insert, that seemed like a lot of money just for that. About $17,000, wasn't it, just for quick?
Yes, sir, it did. This is off the state contract, and it was, we went through about 6 different locales getting quotes on that, but yes, it did. The van itself was $31,000. The prisoner insert was $17,599.
Is that through the state contract?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Both of them are through the state contract. Any other questions on the van? Okay, next is $32,500, county mayor's office, accountant, bookkeepers. As you know, we've talked about hiring a human resource personnel for here quite some time. Well, we're kind of at a quandary right now. I have found a young man who was an HR manager at Lowe's. He took a buyout there about 2 years ago. He's been working at Delta Faucet, doing their payroll and HR. And as of last week, Ms. Carolyn Nichols, who does our payroll, she's going to be off for a minimum of 3 weeks due to some health issues. So I'm asking for $32,500. That would carry us through the end of the year. It would allow this individual to do start the HR function and pick up the payroll function, because my goal would be to combine those two because they do focus close together. The salary of the HR person would be $43,000 per year.
Mayor, what detail his total duties? What authority do you have? Will he have other just talking to you employees?
He will be the HR for the entire county as they see fit. Now, you know, each elected official basically has their, with the exception of the schools, they have their own HR. Each elected official has the opportunity and the ability to direct their personnel manuals as they see fit, but I think this would be a great opportunity. A couple of things, it would take me out of the loop on some things, but it would give professional advice to our employees, whether it be for insurance, whether it be for planning for retirement, whether it be for a myriad of things, not to mention the, as we go through now, as Mr. Kimball knows, this COVID, keeping up with the hours and the time off is a monumental task in itself, fashioned with the fact that they're giving us this money, but they're saying if you don't get it spent and obligated in the next 60 to 90 days, you're going to lose out on it. So that's leaving us scrambling to get that done. So there's way more than enough work. I think it'll probably be the most beneficial position this county's probably added in the last 50 years anyway. And I would hope that all the departments would take use of that, and I think they would, because one of the first tasks would be that they would move forward with updating everyone's personnel policy, and I don't think anyone would have objection to that. Any other questions?
Was that position advertised in the county?
No, sir, it was not. And I'll tell you the reason being is I've got to have somebody right now. I had the opportunity to acquire this young man, and if I didn't get him, I wouldn't get him, and I don't have a payroll clerk. It's just me and Miss Donna in the office right now. So we had, I mean, I hope y'all express my, that I didn't get it advertised. There wasn't time and I couldn't get it done.
Is it legal to do it without?
Yes, sir. I contacted CPAS. They'll be working under the offices of the mayor's office. I mean, if anybody gives us, we call it payroll, but it's a well-needed position.
Mayor, that's 32,500 for a year.
No, sir, that'll carry us through till June, and that there's some extra in there. That's not exactly. I just wanted to make sure we had enough. But the salary starting the salary is $43,000.
Will this girl be staying on? Okay.
She will be staying on. She has given me the notice that she's going to retire the first of the year. So there again, I'm under the gun. If she wouldn't have had the health issue and had to been off 3 or 4 weeks, we would have advertised it and gone through it. But I'm kind of like everybody else. I kind of got to run it scared with this COVID deal, and I had to have some help in the office.
Did you run, were you run one Carolyn got? Oh, did you got hired, did we?
She was here before me. No, you typically don't have to advertise if it's in an elected official's office, but we always try to because we want to make sure we get the most qualified individual. Yeah. All right. The next item, which we've already voted on, is a resolution to apply for and receive the $387,375 in COVID money.
Is the HR person, does it have to be a local person?
Yes, it does, and I'll tell you, it's Mr. David Burnham. Some of you may remember he was a small business owner years ago. He'd been at Lowe's for the last 15 years. And he is he was with Delta Faucet doing their HR and payroll, but he wanted to be closer to home and not work as much.
Well, this is a full-time position.
This is a full-time, yes. Well, you know, the saying goes, it's good to be lucky or good. I'd rather be lucky any day than good. And knock on wood, the good Lord's been good to me in being lucky, and I think to this as well. Any other questions about the general fund? If None, I will entertain a roll call vote. Excuse me, I gotta have a motion to approve first. Motion made by Mr. Unger, second by Mr. Purcell. I was trying to get the cart before the horse.
Mr. Mark Bentley,
Yes.
Mr. Don Canal,
Yes.
Mr. Tommy Donovan,
Yes.
Mr. Gene Edwards,
Yes.
Miss Sandra Hughes, Miss Kay Jordan,
Yes.
Mr. Dennis King,
Yes.
Mr. Dale McCaslin, Mr. Terry Mills,
Yes.
Mr. Joe Purcell,
Yes.
Mr. Tommy Sanders,
Mr. Tommy.
Tommy's muted.
You're on mute, Tommy.
Yes.
Thank you, Ms. Kay.
Mr. Evertise,
Yes.
and Mr. Dan Under.
Yes. They call me.
Oh, Mr. Tommy.
You like that, Donna?
Yeah, you called me, I didn't answer.
Mr. Linwood, you upset over Tommy, I guess, Mr. Tommy.
Okay, the next item, we have a total of 5 permits. Looks like we have 1, 2 new homes, 3 new homes, a mobile home and a shop. So, we welcome that. Do I have a motion to, bring into the revenue? Made by Mr. Bentley,
Motion.
second by Mr. Sanders. All in favor of saying aye?
Ah.
All right, other business. I will kind of briefly, as you notice, I signed a declaration October 16th at midnight for a period of 7 days, allowing local emergency for our local ambulance authority, allowing fire department personnel, first responders, police, and sheriff's deputies. As you know, we went through a time where we've got several of our drivers that are either positive with COVID or have family members that are positive in quarantine. The first of that group starting to come back this week, so if we make it through Friday or Saturday, I think we'll be in pretty good shape. As we mentioned to that, I think most of you know we've got several commissioners that have been positive in the past. Some are positive now. Some are sick now. I think Mr. Eugene's still in the hospital, doing a little better. He sounds terrible, but he said he was better. So we want to be sure, and not just those, but all the folks in our community, keep them in our thoughts and prayers, because I do think it's starting to spread more prolifically here in Lauderdale County. So I do urge everyone to wear your mask when able, to make sure you keep up the routine of washing and sanitizing your hands, and just be careful, because we need to slow this thing down. Does anyone else have any other business that needs to come before us tonight?
Can you update us on Jimbo Derrick?
John, can you, I don't know that I can update you on any change. I think his mind seems to be pretty good, but Jimbo's not in good shape. That's why we've got Mr. Smith here in respect for Mr. Jimbo. We've kind of held that position open twofold. I think the sheriff's got some deputies that are off getting certified. And when do they finish up, John? Do you know? Do what?
We got one that's at the academy right now, and probably December.
Okay. So we're trying to give the sheriff a little time to get himself situated before, I guess I'll be a premature. I will recommend Mr. Smith to take Jimbo's place when that happens. He's been working with Jimbo for the last several years. He knows the physical aspect. He's been working with Atima alongside myself for the last month or so. So I think you've got a quality individual who will do a good job, and I think he would. I think I can say this in all honesty. He would be the one that Jimbo would recommend to take his place. So we'll be having further discussion probably at the November meeting about that. Yes, she's in the nursing home. Yeah. So for sure, keep the Jarrett's family in your thoughts and prayers. I did talk with Mr. Tidwell. You know, we were going to get an update, and I had another speaker kind of lined up, but in light of all the folks that are in the commission that's guided or been on quarantine, I was on quarantine for 2 weeks myself a while back. I thought it would be best we'll wait and shoot them for maybe a November, December meeting when this thing dies down a little bit. Mr. Kimmel, you want to kind of give us a brief update on what the schools are looking like now as far as positivity rates and?
Be glad to, Mayor. You know, we started out the school year on a hybrid plan, and it's not convenient for anyone, but it was what we felt like we needed to do for our students, our employees, and the community. We knew that schools would be a place where people would come and maybe get germs or viruses and take it back out to the public, so we were really cautious on how we opened. The decision was made in October, the October school board meeting to continue on that hybrid schedule where students, the state allows them to have an opportunity to go full remote, stay at home and work online or remotely. And we're still doing a hybrid schedule where we're staggering each day. We have been able to keep numbers fairly low in terms of infection rates and quarantines. That's the biggest thing. We're seeing our neighbors, a lot of our neighboring school districts who are putting all students back in school. What you're not hearing and not seeing is where you're having 900 or 90 to 100 students quarantined at one time because they weren't able to properly socially distance. So now those students are out of school for 2 weeks without any in-person instruction. So we don't like it. No one likes it, but we have stayed on this staggered schedule. We have been able to keep quarantine numbers down. We've been able to keep positive cases down. And that's where I'm not sure what the board will decide in November, but I feel like pretty certain we'll end the first in 2020 in this hybrid model. Last week was our biggest week. We had more students last week with positive tests than we have at any point, but it's kind of a reflection of where we're at in terms of the community. And we had more students quarantined last week. One of the biggest things, obviously safety, but trying to keep teachers and employees staffed so that we can even stay on the staggered model has been somewhat challenging. Talking to principals today, substitute teachers, more people get infected in quarantine, we have fewer substitutes, employees out. So we're maintaining, we're doing well. We just hope that the COVID numbers don't continue to go up because we're not sure where we'll have to go from there. But again, to the mayor's point, this virus affects everyone differently. We've got people in the hospital with a sniffle. People don't get anything. And so being respectful of everyone and trying to limit the spread is really important to us to be able to keep schools open, to feed children and educate children the best we can during these difficult times. So I commend our